chain reaction. This is a process which you can say that it is a self-propagating process in which the number of neutrons are multiplied in geometric proportion till the entire fissile material disintegrates. That is what we call chain reaction. See, you consider the fission process. A neutron bombards with a uranium nucleus. That nucleus, heavy nucleus, splits into two parts, nearly equal fragments, and in the process energy is released and also 3 more neutrons are obtained. Now, if you take some amount of uranium, in that there will be very large number of uranium atoms and uranium nuclei, and these 3 neutrons emitted in the first process, first fission process, will interact with 3 more uranium nuclei, and once again fission process will take place, 3 fissions. In that process, each fission will produce another 3 neutrons. Like that, among the 3 fission processes, you will get 9 neutrons. The process is continued. These 9 neutrons collide with 9 more uranium nuclei, and in the process 27 neutrons are produced. Like that, the process is continued till the entire material, that is fissile material, is disintegrated, and it releases a large amount of energy in a very short interval of time, and that process is known as chain reaction. We can represent it something like this. Let us say you have a neutron which is moving and colliding with a uranium nucleus, and we know what happens. 2 nearly equal fragments, barium and krypton, are produced, and in the process 3 more neutrons are obtained. These are the neutrons, and they collide with another 3 uranium nuclei. Again fission takes place among these 3, like once again you have nearly equal fragments, barium and krypton, and 3 more neutrons are obtained in the process, 1, 2, 3. Here also the same process is repeated, that is 2 nearly equal fragments, barium and krypton, and 3 more neutrons, 1, 2, 3. The same is repeated here. You have 2 fragments and 3 more neutrons. You can see what happened. Initially, due to one fission process, you got 3 neutrons. Next, these 3 neutrons are interacting with 3 uranium nuclei, producing 9 number of neutrons. And if the process is repeated, these 9 will interact with 9 more uranium nuclei. 27 neutrons are produced. Like that, the number of neutrons are increased in geometric proportion, and the entire fissile material, that is uranium, whatever you have taken as fissile material, is totally disintegrated, and a large amount of energy is released all of a sudden. Such a process is known as chain reaction. See, in chain reaction also there are 2 types. One is controlled chain reaction, another is uncontrolled chain reaction. In the first process, the number of neutrons are controlled so that the energy is released in a systematic manner. That is, in a given time interval, a particular fixed amount of energy is released in a controlled chain reaction. Such a reaction is used to produce electric power in nuclear power plants. Controlled chain reaction is used there. It's something like this. For example, if in a fission process there are 3 neutrons that are emitted, and if the process is allowed to continue like that, all the neutrons will further multiply in a geometric proportion, and the entire amount of energy is suddenly released. Now, there is a method in which you can control the number of neutrons. There are good absorbers of neutrons such as cadmium, which are used to control the number of neutrons that are produced. So that in the controlled chain reaction, what we are going to do is the number of neutrons produced is kept constant during the entire process, so that in a given time interval a fixed amount of energy is released, and that amount of energy is used to produce electric power. So a controlled chain reaction can be used to produce electricity in nuclear power plant. That is one method. Next, uncontrolled chain reaction. This method is such that the chain reaction is allowed to continue as it is, like the number of neutrons is allowed to multiply in geometric proportion and the entire fissile material is disintegrated in a short interval of time. That results in a sudden release of a great amount of energy. In fact, it becomes an explosion, it becomes an atom bomb. The principle involved in atom bomb is uncontrolled chain reaction.